Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty, and apologies for not doing as many reviews as I have been doing, but it's been a mixture of things. Basically, there's not many new comic books out that I've had the time to read and review, and there's also been busy and being ill. I was going to review one yesterday, but I was really not up to it, so I do apologise. You get me now when I'm feeling considerably better, and we're going to review Children of the Black Sun from Ablaze Comics. A really, really good-looking cover, and I don't mind admitting I did basically get this in because I really like that cover. I know what they say, books and covers and judging and all that, but I really liked it. I thought I'd give it a shot. Unfortunately, it did lead to my first negative thought of the comic book once I started reading it, which is those really deep colours and how they meld the reds and the blacks together with the negative whites. It looks fantastic, and there are a few times in the comic book where I think they could have carried on using that style of colouring and it could have been a little bit more bold. They don't do all go for fully washed out colour or anything like that. There are times when it is rich and times when it isn't, and it all works. But there's a couple of horrific moments going on where I think there was a chance to plumb a little bit further down and get a little bit more depth and richness to the colours, which weren't taken. But stylized choices, I mean, it's a personal from that point. I don't think anyone would really be disappointed with the colouring in it. It's actually very professionally done, and even the line art as well is absolutely fantastic. We have, in terms of the story, there is an event that's happened 10 years and 16 years ago. A black sun rose, and during that time a whole bunch of terrible things happened. A whole bunch of people died, but also some children were conceived. The Children of the Black Sun, what this comic book is about. And these children look different. They have pallid grey skin and red eyes. But every character is drawn to look a little bit different. There is nobody who has like that just atypical standard human like Marvel or DC in-house style kind of look to them. Everyone is slightly different, slightly chubbier, gawky, big nose, thick neck, long elongated neck for a couple of people. This is all efforts put into making sure that even the characters who are normal are also unique and distinct, and that's a really solid move. I really like that. Some people might not go for the stylized artwork quite so much because it does move away from a photorealism, but I think photorealism only has place in certain times, and I think you've got to have an artist who's going to really commit to it, and it's going to have to work with the story. Because we are dealing with something supernatural here, I'm kind of okay with them having a little bit more fun with it, and also, as I say, this idea that some of the regular people also look unusual plays into what I think is going to be some of the themes of the comic book. Before we get onto those, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about the artwork. At the beginning, we get the exposition for the story from a child writing a school report and gets criticised for not doing 4 pages and not doing as much detail. It is very much a quick sketch of what's happened for us, the readers, which I quite like. But he's filled in the other 4 pages by doing drawings of what happened. And this is a 10-year-old child drawing horrific things of people getting murdered in the streets and a black sun over a city. It looks fantastic and genuinely reminded me of an idea I had a year or so ago. If I want to get back into drawing, I really like the idea of doing tattoos in the style of children's drawings, but horrendous monsters, and I thought that'd be kind of a cool thing to do. Seeing somebody actually do that on a page genuinely made me smile, and I really enjoyed that. But we're now going to go to the writing of the actual story for a while, and we're going to carry on talking about the layouts, because my least favourite page in the entire comic book is a 16-panel page, basically 4 rows of 4, where there is just an absolute boatload of exposition. Now, one of the things I like about this comic book is I think there's going to be way more to come that's going to keep me intrigued. But it does feel like at this point in the comic book, it doesn't add anything to the story. It's literally just a guy having a theory about what's going on and trying to explain it in a way that's a bit more scientific rather than just, this is a weird thing that happened, isn't it weird that it happened? Instead of like just letting the reader go along with it, it feels like there's an attempt made to be like, no, it's fine, there is a reason. Either that or it's not that there's a reason and this guy's going to be relevant later on for other reasons. I don't know, but it just felt like it was a page which was unnecessary. Now, the rest of the stuff I really like. There's great characterization, like the world building is done really effectively. We do find out that the 2 different generations of the Children of the Black Sun, the 10-year-olds and the 16-year-olds, have different lives. They obviously different peer groups because of the school years they're in, different lived experience because they've been doing it longer, and the one set was around during the second Black Sun, so they've got a different experience about what that means. But my absolute favourite thing is, when this kind of story happens, is like the trope that these children of Black Sun, the ones with the pale skin and the red eyes, are going to be one of 2 things. They are either going to be avatars for some eldritch god who are brought about by one of his holy events, and they are going to be avatars for a ruinous power, and they're going to destroy all of humankind. Yeah, fair play, nothing too unusual about that one. They look weird, it makes sense. The other one is this entire story is about the fact that we shouldn't be judging them based on what they look like, and they could actually be benevolent heroes. They may or may not have powers, but they are going to do something good for everyone. And it could go either way. What I like about the story is, by the end of it, it really could go either way. They have put enough clues in there, enough story beats in that I'm left thinking, I don't know which way this is going to go. These could be good guys, these could be bad guys, and it's going to be a great deal of fun watching them based on how they've characterized them and how they've done some world building. Now, because like I said, there's an entire page of unnecessary exposition, and some of the colouring choices are not 100% thing. I'm not 100% sure I'm definitely going to put this down on my pull list. I might have another look at it and make a decision down the line, or I might just wait and grab it as a trade. But I definitely do want to read the rest of the story. I want to find out what's going on. I'm just not 100% set on whether or not it's going to be best to read it all as one finished work or do it as a monthly thing. But either way, I did thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm glad I judged it by its cover because it worked out to be really quite nice. That's it for me for today. In fact, for the week, this is literally the only comic book I've got to review this week. Everything else is sold out already. So you won't see me now again until next week. But until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.